night. It's probably about 11 in the morning. Been working for, I don't know, an hour and a half or 2 hours or so far. It's pretty damn hot today. Just waiting for the cloud cover to come in and maybe cool things off a little bit. It's cooler in the boat though than it is outside, which is good because I'm working in the boat today. It's sort of all hose all the time today. Trying to get our raw water system sort of all fixed up, with the exception of the long hose that runs all the way from our washdown pump, which is up in the bow, back to the aft washdown pump. We also have a washdown nozzle at the bow as well. But I'm going to have to wait on replacing that hose until Margaret gets here, because it's just, I started to do it myself, and it's impossible to pull that through on my own. So once Margaret gets here, we'll finish that off. But hopefully by the end of the day today, I have all the other hoses in place, secured, and all the fittings on that go through the raw water, come off the raw water seacock. There's 4 hoses that come off that seacock, so we've got quite a few fittings to make that work. Yeah, that's what's going on. Show you some of it here. This is 5/8 inch hose that we had put in January, and then as we continued to think about the project, and this goes back to the bow washdown, which is up in the anchor locker, or goes through the anchor locker. Once we sort of started to figure everything out, realized that it's better if we just go with 3/4 inch hose there. It will make 3/4 inch hose throughout the entire system, and sort of make things a lot simpler. That was the thing that I forgot yesterday, that we had made that decision. But once I started playing with the new washdown pump that we got, I realized that. Anyway, that's what I'm up to, making all these changes and securing a lot of this hose in place too that we had put in previously, with screws and zip ties and stuff. Hopefully I don't melt here, but I'll show you some more later once I get some of this project done. It's been several hours since I last reported here. It's got a little cooler. We've got a breeze going. Still pretty sunny out, but more clouds. So at least that's going for us. I have now, I'll show you over here, replaced that 5/8 inch hose with 3/4 inch, and it's now attached to a new fitting up in the anchor locker and through the deck to our to where the washdown hose will go. I've also put the electricity up to the bilge pump. It works fine. And put on all of these hoses here. This is a T. That's that black hose is the one that we're going to replace. So that one will come here and head back aft to the washdown pump out there. This one right here goes towards the seacock, and it's right now not attached to anything. But that's what I've been spending the last couple hours doing, was all of that. And now let me show you what I'm going to start it on next. And this is this mess right here. We have 4 different hoses here. One of them is sort of a dead hose that goes up to the under the galley sink. And the idea is that one day there will be a foot pump there. A saltwater foot pump. We currently have a freshwater foot pump, but a saltwater foot pump. We have another hose that goes to the head. Comes out here and goes right underneath there to the head. This is the hose right here that goes back down to the washdown pump. And then there's another hose that heads up to the bow and is for the cooler for the refrigerator. And all of those come off of this through hole right here, this seacock, and we've got to put 4 outlets on it, and so that's what I'm going to start working on next. And looking at things, we are 2 hose fittings short right now, so I'm going to have to get those. Those aren't too hard to come by, but it does mean trip down to Jacksonville or something like that, which was already going to happen probably tomorrow. I need to go to Fastenal and try to get a bunch of different screws and things that I just can't, bolts and screws that I can't get anywhere else. So yeah, that's about it. Let me just show you this. This was a agonizing process, certainly, to get all of this together, but I just wanted to show you this tool right here that made things easier. This is for cutting hose, and many of you are probably familiar with it already, but just slowly kind of comes in and then cuts the hose. It cuts it like butter. You get a nice straight cut. I was pulling this off, but you get a nice straight cut on it. So much easier than any other way I could possibly think of. Certainly easier than using a sort of box cutter, razor blade sort of thing. But yeah, and I don't know. Going to continue on this. We'll see where we end up getting today. Alright, it's a couple hours later now. I didn't get too much farther with the hose project. I realized there was another fitting that I needed. Switching over from the some 3/4 and 5/16, 5/8 hose to all 3/4 has sort of upended the project a little bit. We have extra fittings that we paid some good money for that we're going to have to put on Cruiser's Forum or something like that, and we need one more fitting in order to complete the whole project. But that was one thing that I did, was just to realize that and sort of assess the whole fittings for the rest of that project. I also redid some of the electric in the head. This was our AC stuff. Back in January I had dead-ended it, put it in a box, used those the sort of twist caps for that, and some folks pointed out on the video that really wasn't up to Marine Code or whatever the hell it's called, and they helpfully pointed me to some Jamestown distributor videos that talked about how to do it properly, basically using these heat shrink butt connectors. And so I bought a couple of those. They're about $1 or $2 a piece, so they're a little steep, but use those to put that together and redo that. So now things should be safer on that electricity end of things. I also cleaned up a little bit, although you couldn't tell if you looked around. Got some of the old 5/8 inch hose off the boat and back into my car. Started to put together a master list of what still needs to be done, what needs to be bought, and spent some time sort of measuring things and figuring out what exactly these things were that I needed to buy. Not totally done with that list yet. There's some things I need to read up on and figure out how to do. There's also some stuff down on the mast that I need to measure, that I'll be doing momentarily. So, I'll talk a little bit in a blog post about some of the jobs that are still left to be done. What we need to do before we get in the water, and what we can wait, for the first week or so that we are in the water, or even once we get up to the Chesapeake or something like that. Writing that blog post will just help me sort of clarify some of these things in my mind. There's also some things that I need to read up on. I've never repacked a stuffing box. I know ours needs to be repacked. So I got to read up on how I'm going to go about doing that, and figure out if I need anything else for it. Yeah, so I'm going to finish up some of those orders, prepping for orders and stuff like that right now, and then I'm going to head out to the library, my usual place for the afternoon and evening, read up on some of these things, use the internet quite a bit, and try to get some other work done, as well as getting ready for some of these boat jobs. Thinking that tomorrow, tomorrow I'll probably be working on the galley sink. Rocky, the yard manager, was going to do some work on the sink for me, and he says he's going to have it ready for me tomorrow morning, so that would be great, so I can finally get to that. I should be able to finish that up tomorrow, and Margaret comes in tomorrow too, so we'll probably be doing a little bit of organizing and settling in. Not sure if we're going to stay on the boat or whether we're going to get a hotel room. We will find that out. Maybe go down to Jacksonville or St. Augustine tomorrow to stop at Fastenal, and also to go to some of the marine stores to pick up some of this stuff. We will see. Certainly inform you guys as that goes on. Take it easy.